Welcome to the California Perkins Joint Special Populations Advisory Committee's e-seminar on non-traditional students and occupations. The Federal Carl D. Perkins Act of 2006 governs Career Technical Education, or CTE. There are 6 subgroups of students who are considered special populations. Special population students face unique and, at times, seemingly insurmountable barriers to success in education or employment. To learn more about the other subgroups, view JSPAC Special Populations 101E seminar. One of these special population subgroups includes students who are preparing for a career that is non-traditional by gender. A non-traditional occupation is any occupation in which one gender comprises less than 25% of the total workforce in that occupation. Examples of non-traditional occupation would be a woman who is preparing to enter into the trades or a man who is preparing to enter into early childhood education. Why do we care about non-traditional students and employees? First, all workers, female and male, have a right to choose among a full range of occupations, not just those dictated by tradition or their own current knowledge of occupations. Employers are looking for a diverse workforce as all people bring different attributes to the workforce based in part upon their social experiences, gender, ethnicity, and physical abilities. A diverse workforce is a strong workforce. For women, many of the highest-paying occupations are non-traditional. Women in non-traditional careers typically earn 20 to 30% more than women in traditional occupations, and over a lifetime may earn 150% more. This means that not only can they care for their families more effectively, but they can retire with greater security. Occupations that are non-traditional may suit a particular woman better because often the workplace is outside, the jobs are more physical, the tasks are more diverse or hands-on, and the results can be more tangible, relevant, or simply meaningful to her. Let's take a minute to guess at the answers to the following questions. In 2009, what percent of firefighters were women? Only 3.4% of all firefighters were women, and they earned $998 per week. In the same year, what percent of secretaries were women? A staggering 95.9% of all secretaries were women, and they earned only $651 per week. This means that women working as secretaries earned $18,044 less per year than those working as firefighters. Quite a stark difference, isn't it? For men, many jobs that are considered non-traditional pay less. However, a career that is in a field that he loves can bring satisfaction and personal fulfillment beyond measure. Additionally, non-traditional careers for men can be a means of advancing to higher-wage jobs such as business owners, school administrators, and/or managers. Also, in a non-traditional occupation, men, by and large, get paid more than women. From the perspective of the employers and the overall economy, a diverse workforce is not just the right thing to do, it is often a requirement for receiving federal grants or contracts. It can also result in better products as it can make design and production teams more cohesive and innovative, and it often improves customer satisfaction. Ensuring a diverse workforce comes from effort and a conscious decision to recruit and retain women and men in non-traditional occupational training programs. How do we do that? What efforts are most effective? Developing an environment that is welcoming, supportive, and encouraging to students of both genders as well as all ethnicities and abilities is crucial. The absence of this environment is referred to as a chilly climate. It is important that the whole team be on board. This includes administrators, counselors, faculty and teachers, lab assistants, classroom aides, and all other staff who make a school function well. All educational team members play a crucial role in enabling non-traditional students to enter into and complete a program. It is important the campus, classrooms, and team members are welcoming to both genders. Remember that one-shot fixes are generally not effective. Therefore, make a plan in which each step builds upon the one before. Implement it over several months to keep the flow steady and the conversation going. Use empirical data to identify gaps in student performance. Once an identified solution is applied, use data to measure the successes of your selected solutions and make adjustments as necessary. Here are a few ideas. Begin with examining your Perkins Core indicators and other data to identify gaps in success rates for students and programs. Look at longitudinal data, ideally 3 years or more. Look for trends in participation, persistence, and completion rates of all students, as well as those that are non-traditional by gender. This is step number 1 in a 5-step process for program improvement. Once gaps are identified, work with students, faculty, staff, CTE advisory committee members, and other support staff to identify the most probable causes for the gaps. The document Non-Traditional Career Preparation, Root Causes and Strategies is available on the JSPAC website. This research-based document is very useful in identifying probable root causes for identified gaps. Identifying root causes will help you target improvement strategies to your unique situation. From there, host professional development opportunities that raise the awareness level of all school or college educators about the gaps identified, as well as about the benefits of non-traditional occupations. These professional development opportunities can include a series of in-person sessions or workshops, webinars, email updates, faculty, counselor, or area meeting presentations, or printed materials. Ideally, a combination of many of the above ideas will be the most effective. Many suggestions for relevant topics can be found on the JSPAC website. The website contains information on topics such as startling statements about employment data, ways to analyze curriculum and teaching, how to improve a chilly climate in the classroom or on campus, and information about internal barriers such as affirmation theory, stereotype threat, implicit messages, and self-efficacy. Have ethnically and ability diverse non-traditional employees make short presentations at faculty and staff meetings on the reasons they entered a non-traditional occupation, as well as the benefits and hurdles they faced. Work with counselors to ensure that they are aware of non-traditional occupations. Have teachers and counselors participate in the Project Implicit Bias Awareness Test to root out and understand hidden bias. Present the idea that, while we all have hidden biases, it is our job to be aware of them and do our best to put them aside when working with students. Reaffirm the intent and requirement for the California Education Code, which states, any school personnel acting in a career counseling or course selection capacity to any pupil shall affirmatively explore with the pupil the possibility of careers or courses leading to careers that are non-traditional for that pupil's sex. Ensure that counselors know the salary differential and self-sufficiency standard for their area and different families. Visit the Insight Center for Community Economic Development website to learn the self-sufficiency standard for 156 family configurations in all 58 California counties. Schedule non-traditional role models to speak at counselor meetings to raise the awareness of the career satisfaction of non-traditional employees, increase salaries, and job availability. To assist in recruiting more non-traditional students, ensure that images on marketing materials, in-class schedules, classrooms, dining areas, counseling areas, and other common student access areas are diverse in terms of gender, ethnicity, and ability. When choosing images, pay close attention to the non-traditional students. Are they in an active role? Ensure that the general school and college materials are as diverse as the CTE department materials so that equity and diversity are not just CTE goals. Recruit non-traditional students in groups. This forms a cohort of students with the training programs which can be useful for support. Hire faculty, assistants, and other support staff members that reflect the students you want in your classrooms. Ones that mirror the community at large, diverse in all ways. A key factor in encouraging students to pursue non-traditional careers can be the wages earned in those career areas. Students need to know how much money they will need to earn to live without public or private assistance in their geographic area with their family composition. In order to determine this, visit the Insight Center for Community Economic Development website with your students to determine a self-sufficiency wage. A self-sufficiency wage is one in which a person earns a wage that is sufficient for them to live in their community with their family composition with no assistance from private or public entities. Provide non-traditional role models and mentors that look like the students as much as possible. Make sure that they are of similar age, background, ethnicity, and abilities. When hosting a career fair, ensure that the staff at the booths are non-traditional and that the booths allow for as much hands-on activity as possible. To retain non-traditional students, develop and provide resources and services to allow students to overcome the barriers they face. Support groups can be useful as frequently the barriers are internal. These include isolation and lack of self-efficacy and can be overcome with peer support. If there are financial difficulties, refer students to community or campus resources of support. Teach students about what we classify as internal barriers, ones that we control within ourselves. These include self-efficacy, attribution theory, incremental learning, self-advocacy, critical thinking, and stereotype threat. It's not that stereotypes don't exist externally, but we can control the impact that they have upon us. Be mindful in the classroom, counseling sessions, and other areas in which you interact with students that your own biases and stereotypes don't unconsciously steer students into careers that are traditional by gender. Visit the Harvard University's Implicit Project website to become more aware of your possible biases regarding gender and career, skin color, or gender and science ability, for example. Be aware of the micro-messages you send to students. Micro-messages can be helpful, such as a nod or a wink to encourage a student. These are called micro-affirmations. They can also be harmful. Not making eye contact or continuing to work while a student talks during an office visit can send a negative message. These are called micro-inequities. Sometimes we ignore a female student's success while rewarding a male student's same accomplishments. This can send a female student the message that she is not valued or does not belong in the program or school. Ensure that in classes while doing group work, the non-traditional students are in groups with traditional students and not by themselves. Also require that all students perform all tasks to ward off the tendency of women being made the note-takers or men doing the heavy lifting. All students must be able to perform all tasks if they are to be successful in the workforce. Promote and facilitate Career Technical Student Organizations, or CTSOs. CTSOs allow students to achieve high academic and occupational standards due to the illustrated correlation between the materials being taught and the student's career goals. Additionally, CTSOs allow a student to develop leadership skills that will benefit them throughout their working career and in life in general. In providing leadership to a CTSO, make sure you teach the student about all the issues discussed earlier: self-advocacy and efficacy, stereotype threat, and micro-messages, for example. Develop meaningful business partnerships and career networking opportunities in your CTE occupational arena. Encourage these partners to create internships that assist students in recognizing the correlation between school-based learning and the real world of work, motivating them to become better students and productive citizens, developing school and community leadership skills, and enhancing their self-esteem and self-confidence. Read and encourage your business partners to read Standing on the Shoulders of Giants: An American Agenda for Educational Reform. There are many more ways to increase the participation and success rates of both women and men in non-traditional careers and career preparation programs. It is up to us to analyze our own bias, develop awareness of the benefits of non-traditional occupations, and to do all we can to promote programs that lead to high-wage, high-demand careers. JSPAC has many resources on their website. Click on the Non-Traditional Occupations button on the left-hand side menu. Okay, that's a lot to digest. Before you tune out, take a minute to visit and bookmark the rest of the JSPAC website. While you are there, sign up for the News You Can Use newsletter. Attend a JSPAC conference. Or host a JSPAC regional workshop. Next time you are thinking about program improvement or have a student who is not doing as well as you know they could, visit the JSPAC website and look through some resources for inspiration and guidance.